Sometimes you come across a film so good, you just need to talk about it. Today I want to talk about Josee, the Tiger and the Fish. Easily one of the best anime films I watched this year. It follows the blossoming love story between 22-year-old college student Suneo Suzukawa and the spunky 24-year-old Josee. We find out that Suneo is desperately trying to study abroad in Mexico to study clarion angel fishes. The only catch is, he's actually pretty strapped on cash and he has to find an innovative way to earn extra money. So while homeboy is deep in thought walking back home, our main heroine, Josee, gets flung mid-air before Suneo catches her. You know, typically in a romance story, we get introduced to a heroine in a more gentle way, but in this story, homegirl almost got isekai'd. Through a series of twisted luck, Suneo actually ends up getting hired to look after Josee, because she's actually paralyzed from the waist down. Instantly, this reminds me of A Silent Voice, because that story also explores the romance theme with the disabled person as the center focus. And to take a step back, I really love Josee because it brings more awareness to disabled people in Japan. Josee, the Tiger and the Fish does an excellent job shedding light on this minority group without shoving it down your throat. Like the small details of showing the wheelchair accessible ramps at subways, but also showing how a good portion of Japanese people don't pay extra attention to disabled people. I personally felt like I was in Josee's shoes when she was getting bumped around in the subway station by rude people. But I felt an even deeper empathy for her when she came across a group of young girls excitedly talking about their future diving trip. But returning to the main plot of the story, you start to see the organic growth between our two main characters. For the longest time, Josee was like Rapunzel, locked away in the ivory tower and discouraged by her grandmother to step outside because there were monsters lurking about. One day when Josee's grandmother was away, Josee demands her servant Suneo to take her to the ocean. After a long pilgrimage to the beach, you just see Josee's excitement as she tips over her wheelchair and starts crawling to the ocean like a newborn turtle taking its first strides to the ocean. Josee desperately wanted to answer her father's question, which was, how does the sea taste? After Suneo carries Josee like a sack of Irish potatoes, there's this really beautiful scene of him twirling Josee about and she's experiencing the ocean for the very first time. That scene really struck me because it reminded me of the really iconic scene in AOT when the Survey Corps was also able to experience the ocean for the first time. Throughout the AOT series, you would see Armin and Eren talking about the ocean and also reading about it, but seeing it in the flesh, the saltiness of the water, the noise of the clashing waves, the vastness of the view, this wholesome sentiment was perfectly reflected in the scene of Josee. Now from there on, Suneo takes our princess Rapunzel on many different excursions that she wasn't able to go on before due to her disability. Honestly, I have a true weakness towards witnessing people that are reacting to something for the very first time in their life and reacting with sheer joy. Hey man, that's why sometimes you catch me watching reaction channels until 2 in the morning. Now, one thing I also want to interject here is the name Françoise Sagan, who is actually Josee's favorite author and actually names herself after one of her characters. You see the name Sagan sprinkled across the film, and the most apparent moment is when Josee is checking out a pile of Sagan books at the local library, and through that experience, she's able to make her first girlfriend, the librarian Kana Kishimoto, who also loves Sagan's works. When you actually go in and look at what Sagan writes about, she dedicates her books around strong romantic themes, focusing on the extremely wealthy and disillusioned class. Specifically, Sagan's Josee character is a wealthy, rootless girl who is pretty uneasy about her lack of purpose in life. I felt in that similar light in this anime film, Josee is written in a pretty similar way. She's brash and locks herself away in her ivory tower, sheltered from the outside world. She also carries hints of trying to embody the wealthy class, even with her particular word choice of calling Suneo her servant. And of course, one of the most apparent Sagan influences is the love triangle that Jose finds herself in. On a side note, this bitch Mai is something else. Like, I respect her for being upfront with her feelings towards the end of the film, but dead ass, she'd be like a TikTok reality TV star. Get the fuck out with this dick measuring contest of saying, I know Suno is McDonald's order and his favorite Smash player. Bitch, please. Suneo got hit by Truck-kun for Jose. That's like the modern day crucifixion. Now, with talking about Sagan, it's only natural we also talk about the second part of the movie title, the part of the tiger and the fish. The fish element is pretty apparent, it representing Suneo himself, his dreams of studying abroad, and his obsession with aquatic life. And if we really want to get deep with it, the angelfish that sparked Suneo's whole journey, that fish itself represents deep devotion and fidelity. He's always by Josie's side as she's slowly opening herself to the outside world. And on the flip side of the coin, we have the tiger. On a completely random note, the title Tiger reminded me of our very own favorite Toradora's Taiga. In some ways, I see parallels between Taiga and Jose, which made me love Jose's character even more. Anyways, the tiger is linked with Jose's fear of interacting with the outside world and how she created this make-believe neat agenda that there is these imaginary tigers lurking about and it's going to tear her apart if she walks outside of her grandmother's house. Also, Jose herself could be described as a tiger, someone who prefers to be isolated and at the same time is greatly misunderstood, in her case as a disabled person. That's why when Jose was able to make direct eye contact with that tiger at the zoo, that scene was very powerful for me because it was her way of abandoning her old life of fear and isolation. She realized this whole bloodthirsty tiger is actually your friendly neighborhood Tony the tiger. Now, this is the perfect segue into the most important theme of this story, which is Jose and Suneo chasing their respective dreams. Suneo to be able to study Clarion angelfishes in Mexico, and Jose being able to become a full-time illustrator. Even with Jose's remarkable personal breakthrough at the zoo, this Guriko pose moment, it gets juxtaposed with the sudden death of Jose's grandmother. The fantasy world of Saganland has come to an end. Jose is faced with the absolute harsh reality of not only providing for herself financially, but also getting by alone as a disabled person. You see a shift in her demeanor and body language. The short hair, automatic wheelchair, and especially getting rid of all of her drawings. The scene that really got to me was when the social worker completely ripped apart Jose's dream of becoming an illustrator. There was a time in my life when this girl laughed in my face for having this dream of wanting to become a YouTuber. It really tears you apart when someone shits all over your dream. Obviously, with Suneo being close to Jose, this complete character shift broke him. And the sad thing was, the only way Suneo got Jose's attention was being hit by Truck-kun. Jose then finds out about Suneo's dream of wanting to study abroad, but now it might be a pipe dream due to his destroyed legs. Not only does Jose need to deal with her dead grandmother, now she has to deal with the burden of potentially taking away Suneo's reason of living. This leads to the climax of the story of Jose putting together an illustration book to cheer up your boy. Jose invites Suneo to the library to be part of a public reading of this very book. And man, whew, the way Jose masterfully told her story through each of her carefully detailed illustrations. Like the children in the crowd, I couldn't help but lean into my chair because I was just so engaged. In this moment, I couldn't help but think about my best friend in real life. I won't expose his identity, but all I could say was that he was going through a very tough time in his life. He was dealing with depression and battled many demons. In that process, that prevented him to stop pursuing his dream to become a musician. Then one day when I was at work and I was just surfing through my phone, this same friend dropped a song. In fact, he dropped multiple songs. Like Suneo, I was overwhelmed by emotion. It gets to you. Chasing dreams is such an age-old story, but when you personally witness someone courageously championing their personal voyage, it just inspires you. Even though Jose was at the extreme verge of quitting her dream altogether, this illustration book public reading in front of Sunoe, and of course in the presence of the Sagan books in the library, was her public proclamation that her dream is alive and kicking. Truck-kun isekai'd Suneo into Shinji depression, but Jose's freight train of feels got my boy plunging back into the ocean. After blessing us with that beautiful, poetic kiss scene at the end, in the very same location where Jose and Suneo first met, we get hit with the final scene of Jose sketching at a park with Suneo pulling up during spring break after a semester studying abroad in Mexico. Damn, yo, it's just all too so good. Jose, the tiger, and the fish, you have officially entered my pantheon of romance stories. So y'all, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for tuning in once again. This is your boy Yi-Man. Peace out.